I didn't become a little bit of a slag.
I became a total slag.
The stars of stage and screen are all out tonight. Twinkling Creed, Brad, and Sparkling Jared Dunn. Dancing Cindy, Chundandellas, and fretting Harmony, Kendall, and Tills. Yep, they're all at. Change the tune, yeah, the stars are all lit tonight. Stars like Philip Jeffries falling drunk out of this dimension. Stars of stage and screen are all out tonight. Twinkling Jonah, sparkling Loretta Brown, dancing Bobby the barman, and fretting Black Phillips. The stars of stage and screen are all out tonight. Twinkling Feathers, McGraw, sparkling Council of Maud, dancing Maggie Roswell's fretting hair across. Stars of stage and screen are all out tonight. Twinkling 26126226 is sparkling 156141 is dancing Peeps and fretting Kieran's. My good God, stars like Undetermined falling drunk into this cast. The stars of stage and screen are all out tonight. Twinkling, sparkling, dancing, fretting, and they're all out tonight.
I didn't become a little bit of a slag.
I became a total slag.
Let's make these bad boys bigger.
Exactly. It's already opening with the voice of the prolific London actress Jessie Wallace anyway.
I believe so, and I imagine that's going to be all the way through, which is why there's not much of it in my stuff, but there's going to be much of it. Anyway, do you want to say the stars, stage, screens, or do you want to say the stuff about them?
About, please.
Stars, the stage and screen, Slag Bros.
Rock and Gravel, smash car faster with clubs.
Stars of stage and screen, Slag Bra.
Bouldermobile looks ripped straight from mountain.
Stars of stage and screen,
Slag.
Slag Borders.
Caveman talk, fix wheel, not square, dummy head.
Stars of stage and screen,
Slag.
Slag Brooders.
They somehow keep finishing second in races.
Stars of stage and screen,
Slag.
Slag Siblings.
Rebuild car by smashing random rocks together.
Stars of stage and screen,
Slag.
Slag Twins.
Both secretly ballet stars with delicate dancing skills.
Not true. Stars of stage and screens,
Slag.
Slag Brotherinos.
Tried cooking pterodactyl, nearly 8 judges. Again, thanks,
Not
chap.
true. Stars of stage and screen,
Slag.
Total Slag.
Wheel break, smash new rock, race go again.
Slag.
Bleep, bleep, bleep. Recalibrating the scanner, I'm picking up a high density hair follicle signature near the galley. It smells like wet wool, pre-industrial angst, and a very specific type of unwashed mammal.
Bounce, bounce. I don't know what bouncing sounds like.
Boing.
Ooh, it's boing. Is it a dream glitch? A gift from the Council of Mods? Maybe it's a Maud-adjacent horse?
Pop. The coffee pod ejecting, followed by frantic, wet thumping sounds and high-pitched grunting. What in the steaming cosmos? 2 tiny, shaggy, tribble-style cavemen just popped out of the espresso dispenser, built like sentient herballs with a grudge against modern plumbing. Clatter, bang. Stone clubs hitting a bag of coffee beans. Warning, bioscanners detect who's
Slag.
tulpas. Their primary function is blunt force, architectural redesign, and being incredibly rude. They are currently operating at 140% of acceptable enthusiasm. Oh, they're clobbering that machine, David. The espresso was 99% of my will to live. This is a catastrophic hit to our structural serenity and my morning caffeine metrics.
Look at them go. It's like a wacky race, but inside my breakfast. They're faster than a holographic 2-pack at a buffet. They're already halfway to the cooling vents with my last bagel.
Fast-paced, prehistoric, scampering, fade out, scamper, scamper, scamper.
Those silly slags.
Slag.
They're all over the place. They're causing chaos. And are they, brothers? Positioned at the raging perimeter of the Trouble Belt, I am 2612626.
And I'm 1561414, and we're spectral reflections of Tupac, ABBA, Whitney Houston, and Issa Bass.
Accompanied by our mascot, Ethereal Cloud Peak.
Beep. And our admirable computer, David. I am my son, David 8. We intercept gossiping radio waves of the ether.
We authentically performed a quantum hop straight to Earth.
Precisely.
We endeavoured to liberate some discs of the Slags
Slag.
in their wacky race. What in the radiating void?
Earthlings refer to us as Spoiler Dave Mod 008.
Dave Mod 8. It's fun that we're, like, in these post-Modcast episodes, we're saying the name Mod so quickly into the episodes. Way quicker than we ever did in that. Tonight's visitor in this shimmering theatre, Slags.
Slag.
One more sector of the cosmic lattice ruptured.
Your gratitude is sufficient.
Let's signal probe. Initialize your containment field. Clone codes at V8.6 and permit us to view the holodeck.
Beg your pardon. Jellyfish mode activated. Glide down the winding passage.
Indeed. The champions of future androids who may well have the same personality so far into the future, so they have completely neglected their human existence.
Who transmitted that?
Okay, David 8, help me out on this one.
David 7 fact file, it's a fucking David 7 fact file.
Slag.
Brothers are a pair of prehistoric rock-headed racers from the classic cartoon Wacky Race. Their real names are
Rock,
Slag.
the taller, louder one, and Gravel,
Slag.
shorter, slightly more scheming. That is not true. And they drive the instantly recognisable.
That's like
Slag.
brothers rarely interact with other racers, aside from the gruesome twosome and creepy coupe. The
Slag.
brothers hold them second place wins.
Slag.
Brothers' character design was reused for Captain Caveman. Fun fact, whenever anybody mentions a
Slag.
brothers within 5 seconds, they must also mention that it is used as a design for Captain Caveman.
Rock and Gravel
Slag.
look completely identical despite my previous claims that one is taller than the other. Both are covered in brownish hair, and only their arms, legs, and noses are shown. But they are both usually seen carrying a club. Bouldermobile, a car that looks like it's been chiseled straight out of a mountain. Car number 1. Caveman stereotypes turned up to 11. Thick jaws, wrong. Heavy brows, wrong. Animal skin outfits, wrong.
Slag.
Brothers briefly considered entering a cooking contest instead of a race, specializing in lava roasted pterodactyl, but were disqualified for trying to eat the judges. Not true.
Slag.
Brothers are characters in Wacky Races. They were originally voiced by Dawes Butler and Don Messick, and then by Jim Cummings.
They can accelerate by hitting the car or at other times each other's with their clubs. The
Slag.
brothers are sometimes reconstructed the car from scratch using their clubs on a large boulder that was available.
Like the gruesome twosome, the
Slag.
brothers can summon up appropriate creatures such as pteranodons to help them. Pteranodon.
Slag.
They also speak by combining stereotypical caveman language with normal English, e.g. radar, wheel gone, get new one. In one episode, the Bouldermobile had a flat tire when wheel turned square. In another episode, a wheel fell off and Gravel
Slag.
accidentally made a square wheel from Rock, to which Rock
Slag.
responded, "Rah, dummy head, you make square wheel."
Spoilers. They have a pale grey aura. The
Slag.
brothers share a semblance to form anything out of earth-based elements through the use of their clubs or fists.
Due to being from ancient times of the Forgotten Age, the
Slag.
brothers have no understanding of modern technology and only the use of their weapons are clubs since relationships.
Or their fists.
So here is some screenshots of things that may or may not pop up later, but if they don't, feel free to comment on them. Most of it seems to be them whacking the hell out of either themselves or other competitors, whether it's the Arkansas Chuckabuzz, my favorite name, which is not correct, or the creepy, they're seemingly closest
Best
rivals,
friends.
the creepy bastards.
The creepy bastards. Yeah, in a world of complex stars of stage and screen with developing, I think the initial idea with it was that the characters started and became something else by the end. See Creed, Cindy, etc. This is not the case here.
Very
This
much
is
not the case.
we'll be watching the same clip 4 or 5 times.
So there are some little nuances in there that it's fun to dig into, and of course we can talk about the wider wacky race. What's this one where it's basically a floating rock and they're smacking it with water? That's a cool image.
Yeah, it looks like they are riding in a cloud for this one. This one was also quite problematic in the sense that I have very little frame of reference and couldn't really find much outside of full Wacky Race episodes
So there's an
to.
image here where they're with Motley and they're playing baseball. Now, either that's from like a later like Laugh Olympics style thing, or there's a sports themed episode, maybe.
Well, it is also infrequent that we see them out of the car, considering it's all race based, but that does not mean that we don't see them out of the car
Oh
within
no,
Wacky Races. So it could
indeed.
be. And I also didn't see anything about them showing up. It feels like they got Captain Caveman and they were like, well, he can talk, so we'll just get rid of those two.
I guess so. I guess so. They kind of developed it very quickly into, but I think for the purpose of the Wacky Races is really it's very funny because they didn't need another character with anything else about them. Everyone goes back to Penelope Pitstop and to the Johnny Bravo guy, whatever his name is, and he and like that's basically enough with Dastardly and Motley. The rest of them are there just for to kind of fill up the gaps.
Yeah, I do like that there is like 10 cars and they are all different. They do have things, so I do like the uniqueness of the Slag brothers compared to the other drivers. They are the only ones that can't talk.
I think so, but I mean, all of them have got something cool about them. The Arkansas Chuckabug is maybe the least, even though I do like that name. The guy with the Rufus Roughcut who has the chainsaws attached to the front of his car, which is pretty amazing.
I
What's it?
like I like most of them, to be honest. I don't like the professor.
Professor Pat Pending.
Yeah, I'm
Nice.
not a fan. I think he's a creep.
In
Um,
Inspector Gadget style, precursor.
yes, but I do remember my experience with Wacky Races as a child seems more merchandise and game based than actually watching it. But I feel like the Slags have always been my favourites
Well, bear in
because
mind, it
you
was
stand out the
made in
most.
1968.
True, but it was definitely shown alongside the Scooby-Doos, etc., to me as a child on Cartoon Network, etc. So
That's crazy.
it's definitely something. All the cartoons that I thought came out when I was a child are from like the 60s, which is fun. But yeah, they stand out the most, I'd say, out of the group. Like the rest of them are essentially humans or sentient animals.
That's
And
true.
then they are the two sort of wildest designed. Do they predate Cousin It?
Oh, I don't know. Well, they don't predate the cartoon of Cousin It, but yeah, the TV, Adam's Family. Oh,
Do
no, 64, so considerably later than the Adams Family. They predate Scooby-Doo by a year, but they come several years after the Flintstones. I did look up that because obviously their car is powered by feet power.
indeed. You have a hand. The car is it's very Flintstones, yes.
Yes.
It's a combination of several ideas, I think, merged into one. What is interesting is that there's two of them. I
Well,
think that's just for a bit of interaction because there's nothing discernible. They didn't go one step further and say, let's give them both a trait like we have.
I think it's fun the fact that well, if you look at the original drawings, there is only one of them. So at some point in the design process, they actually decided to, if you look at that one, there's the original drawing by Jerry Eisenberg. And yeah, originally it was much more of a Twits style
Yeah.
kind of character. But still obviously Boulder related. The car didn't really change, but the idea of them, two of them, and they're a bit more kind of a bit less fuzzy actually, and they've got like big clubs, which is super
Yeah.
cool.
They seem slightly easier to animate in that fashion, the sort of more streamlined version. And I do like that they are car number one,
Yeah, kind of one.
presumably because they are prehistoric, so they were first.
Originally not though. Originally car number three in the original drawings. So yes, having them car number one being the oldest makes some sense. I don't know if that's really why. What is wild to me about Wacky Races is it was shown when I was a youngster in the early 80s, and it was shown again when you were a youngster in the mid 90s. both of us absolutely believing that it was a fairly modern, recent cartoon. It really holds up well. The Hanna-Barbera stuff holds up very, very well. It's still really silly. And what is crazy, there's that video where it talks about why Wacky Races was cancelled, and there's only 17 episodes. They only made 17 episodes with 2 races in each episode. And basically, the idea was that Hanna-Barbera just wanted to sell it into syndication, and then they had a chance for a spin-off, they would do it. So they made 17 episodes of Wacky Races, and then they immediately spun off the Penelope Pit Stop TV show. And Dick Dastardly, yeah, and Motley, they had the chase, Stop That Pigeon.
I didn't even know there was a 2017 series. I've not done anywhere near enough research on this Slagcast.
No, me neither. Interesting.
It focuses on the racers' personal lives.
Well, more than half the characters do not return, so because it didn't pop up.
That's why.
Yes,
not.
yes.
That's ridiculous.
It is indeed, but we will take a look at it, and especially when we eventually get to our Hanna-Barbera podcast, The Inevitable.
Exactly.
Yes.
2048.
Yes.
I felt like it was a new show, predominantly because I think my first experience of it was a game, a PlayStation 1 game. Well, that's why it felt new to me, because they were releasing games, and obviously that was not an option prior to that, is the only reason they didn't come out. But yeah, so I felt like it was and then I remember Burger King toys, or no, it wasn't, it was Little Chef toys of the races, and I don't remember ever having a Slag Brothers one, but I remember having quite a few of them.
Now, would
Like
you have seen it on Cartoon Network, or would it have still been on regular TV?
Yeah, it was definitely Cartoon Network. I think almost everything I watched
I
was
think that's why.
Cartoon Network or Nickelodeon.
That's why.
Yeah, which was most of the things I watched. Yeah, like Scooby-Doo. Until about 1999 when they started doing like the Powerpuff Girls and Dexter's Lab and all the sort of Cow and Chicken. You know, like they started redoing new stuff. But between the early 80s until the late 90s, I think they just repeated stuff.
Well, I think there's a weird kind of at some point Hanna-Barbera stopped making TV shows, but it tapered off not long before Cartoon Network started, I think. So they were still making like Flintstones, and then they kind of veered off into Scooby-Doo and the Flintstones, like all the way through Pac-Man show, Mork and Mindy show, the Gary Coleman show in 1982, and Benji's Axe and the Alien Prince, going all the way up until when basically Cartoon Network started in 93. Hanna-Barbera was still making Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure, Tom and Jerry, right up to Gravedale High, the Rick Moranis vehicle, right up until like crossing over into Cartoon Network stuff. When it looks like one of the Dexter's Laboratory started off as a Hanna-Barbera, but what was actually a Cartoon Network somewhere in between. And Powerpuff Girls was actually the final Hanna-Barbera show before they just
died.
Admitted that everything they were making was actually just Cartoon Network, and I'm not really sure what happened after that.
At some point, there was definitely a cast in that sort of mutant Powerpuff Girl that they created.
I don't know a lot about that.
They decided to make their own Powerpuff Girl, the 3 girls, and they just make her sort of like a monster, and she's just basically just a sad, lumbering monster who doesn't know why she exists, and in the end, she explodes.
Well, that in itself is a good way for the Hanna-Barbera story to finish.
It is. But yeah, the Slag Brothers in general, I remember my liking of them coming specifically from the PS1 game as opposed to the program.
Yeah, so, I mean,
it's the first time we've got to look into things like vehicle drivability for our cast and drift, etc., in terms of why I liked character.
I think so. So Classic Sam did a video called Who Won the Wacky Races, where he added up all of the points from races, and he came to the conclusion that the Slag Brothers actually won the Wacky Races.
Interesting. I would have to do my own research, which I'm not going to. But yeah, I feel like a lot of the ones, like they just sort of the win to win, didn't they? So it makes sense that yeah, they would just keep giving it to the Slags because they're sort of nondescript. They just kind of get through the race. From the very few that I rewatched recently to do this, they seem to have some sort of major problem at the start and just not, and then they just sort of do fine at the end. They
That's
come
right,
like,
Chauncey.
oh, is it getting bad?
That's right, Chauncey. I agree with that.
What did you not hear?
It's hard to say. But I think you were talking about how they had some problems at the start, but then they kind of like ended up doing okay in the end. And I think that they occasionally had the problem, but I think it's one of those lesser characters just had to come in second more than anybody else. And so I think it was, I imagine that maybe they slightly liked them more than others. Maybe some on the animation had a bit of a soft spot for the Slag, and they gave them a few more points.
I would say that they probably just didn't keep a track of who had won. Like, it wouldn't have mattered to them. So they probably just reused the Slags the most as winners without having any record of how many races they'd already won.
Yeah, and imagine the animations just recycled a huge amount, and the Slag Brothers are particularly easy to draw.
Yes, especially the car.
Especially the car.
I do like that it has space. On the design, there is an engine on the car.
Well,
when it is clearly them running.
Answer me this then, because I couldn't find anything that explained this or even referenced it, but at least once a hand reaches out from inside the car with a third club.
Interesting. Yeah, I do not know much about that other than maybe they employed somebody for the week to run the car.
I think Dobby Slag is right in there. I think it's conclusive proof of a third Slag brother.
It is. It could be Caveman.
It has been 3 minutes since we mentioned him. So they did come back at least a couple of times in the updated Wacky Races. The one where Wacky Raceland from a few years ago, where they basically just made them into kind of like prehistoric men, it was kind of disappointing, really. The comic wasn't a particularly great.
No. I did read this, and I agree that not only was the comic difficult to follow because there's quite a lot of it where you just can't tell who it's supposed to be, who you're following, and yeah, this being the worst decision of the entire comic to take the two most interesting designed in terms of we can make these look really strange in this post-apocalyptic world, just to make them also human,
at least
and also be able to talk. It's just.
And giving them blonde hair.
Yeah, not a big fan at all of that.
Would have been so easy for them to just do super long hair and have them covered in fur-covered stuff. But actually, there was another Wacky Races reboot which was more in line with the original, but actually still did focus on a little bit wider stuff. It had a little bit more realism in it. But again, they all focus on Penelope Pitstop as the main character, right, with a bit of Dastardly and Motley. And so the Slag Brothers barely appeared in that comic at all. It's just a one-shot. And I think this badly rendered kind of version, very poor. Although we did get to see their feet, did we see them? I guess we have a few times, yes. So moving on. Anything else?
No, I really don't have that much to say about them.
Well, let's do another sketch and then get to the clips.
Indeed.
As you would expect, quite a lot of art for them.
Yes.
Anti-gravity hums and the sound of heavy furniture being dragged.
The shaggy dudes... Oh no, sorry, I'm not a robot. The shaggy dudes just clobbered the gravity modulator. We're floating in a zone of pure psychic radiation and 140% acceptable enthusiasm.
Whoosh, the
Slag.
Gulpers zoom past, using their clubs like oars in the zero-G air, grunting rhythmically. Oh my god, they're headed for the bioreactor. If they club that, we'll be brewing existential dread smoothies for a month. D7, give me a solution that doesn't involve me moving my insufficient deployed spine. I suggest a competitive diff diversion. The
Slag.
Tulpas have a first-placed obsession encoded in their prehistoric firmware. They require a challenger to initiate a logic trap.
A race. Who would have ever thought? Pete, get into your V8.6 travelling bubble. Activate the Bouldermobile protocol. Oh, it's just got the same name. Suplex the air resistance.
Oof, rustling cardboard. Is Pete wearing a miniature car suit made of Sector 7 storage foam and an old newspapers? It looks like a budget Heracross suit that went through a trash compactor. Peep.
Nice, good reference.
Peep loses were charging them for the overhead. I don't care they're from the dawn of time. They'll always for beans and the suboptimal thermal regulation.
Oh, chatbot.
Slag.
All right, so why don't you give the people a bit of context for this content as if they needed it?
This is some of the most of the Slag Brothers. The most findable clips of the Slag Brothers as opposed to hand-picked, like narratively structured clips, which is what I usually at least try and aim for. This is just 4 or 5 clips of them, but they exist in a world sort of outside. Like, that's what the Apocalypse comic does quite well. They do exist in this they just exist in this race constantly. There is nothing for them outside of a race. So we don't know where they live. We don't know where they're from. We don't know what period of time they're from.
Prehistoric?
Well, prehistoric, but we don't know what period of time they are in. It could be the far future. It could be now. It could be the 90s. It could be the 60s.
1968, couldn't it?
So they're quite Philip Jeffries in a way. And
No longer human in some ways.
yeah. And also our third non-vocal or like non-English speaking character, I would say, after Feathers and Philip.
Oh yeah, Philip does do a bit of
Kind of Barbie.
And kind of Barbie. And Philip does a bit of English, doesn't he?
He does.
Would thou louch fuck get smacked on Eid with a club?
Exactly.
Clear one.
So yeah, just some clips of them.
Well, you found some nice clips of them doing interesting stuff, and interestingly, the first one not in their usual race car. But don't worry, every other clip will be.
Yes. Also, this is the first ever episode, so I found it interesting that they're not in a car. This is the only time I could find them not driving, and it is from what a way to set things up.
I mean, what's that concept called? We're looking at it the other week of like, were the first episodes of a show just something that you basically never see again?
Yeah, I like characters we don't. I'm surprised there aren't additional races that we never.
Early lore, whatever it's called. But you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Like the waitress in Seinfeld, who's in the first episode, and then they replace her with Elaine by episode 2, etc.
Indeed.
Clear one. Season 1, episode 1 from 1968, Creepy Lemon Drop. The Slags are in a bar and banging on the bar, and a little bit of the booze pours itself. They guzzle it down and a ghost appears and picks up the club. It bonks Rock on the head and he thinks it's Splog, so he hits him with the club. Grog hits him back and they keep bonking each other on the head. I beg your pardon. While the ghost looks on, a second ghost appears and taps both of them on the shoulders. They go into Mordy ghost form. The Slags are shocked, leap mid-air and run away cartoon style.
Yes, it's just a nice cartoon clip, and given that it's the first ever episode, I think that's why they probably just did something like this for every character, so you could see who they were and like what you were going to be getting.
Maybe.
That's the only reason I can think of having just those two alone in this bar. Like, it must have been some sort of mid-race setup, probably by that prick. Yeah, I like it. I like how Scooby-Doo-ish. It's just very Hanna-Barbera.
Yeah, very Hanna-Barbera, predates Scooby-Doo, of course, by about a year. But of course, they're well into it with Yogi Bear and the Flintstones and all that stuff by that point. Which is remarkable, actually, how late into the day Scooby came into it.
It is. They were saving him for best. I initially wanted to just look at Gravel Slag, but even more so than Sherry and Terry, there's nothing to tell you which one is which ever.
No, and there's almost no point even when the two of them aren't together anyway.
Yeah, no, I can't think of a time where you would just see one of them. It probably has happened, but not in this cast.
Not in this cast, not on our watch. So anyway, did you have any thoughts that it was kind of Mordy how the ghosts became like aggressive?
I did not at the time, but now I regrettably see it. It just reminded me completely of, just a cartoon. This is what I would think of when you think of cartoon, like the silliness, but it's real to them, and then the silly jump.
Jump, running in midair with the kind of marimba sounds. I can't remember if there was actually any marimbas, but you know what I mean, glockenspiel, marimba style soundtracks, no doubt. And did we learn anything? Do you think we learned anything about the Slags that we wouldn't have got from the races?
They don't like ghosts. That's the sight they fear most.
What would they rather have, do you think?
Rocks. A piece of rocks.
Whiskey. They seem to drink whiskey, right? At least that's what they're suggesting there.
Well, there was something else they wanted with it, but they went to Weatherspoons. and unfortunately, we're denied.
As we know, they were denied.
Yeah, that's it. The only other thing is I've never, until kind of within the last 5 minutes, really considered them to actually be humans. I've always seen them as kind of like an alien sort of figure. Like I didn't think that there was people under the fur.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've always just seen them as like different beings. But
Oh,
I
no,
think they are
no.
supposed to be people.
I think so. It's just a little hard to imagine that you can't see their eyes or ears, but they've got like fuzzy whiskers, like a mustache, and they've got obviously a nose. And well, it's an interesting design to have the arms completely bare, like no hair at all on the arms.
Yeah,
It's a cool design.
that is a very cool
So I don't
design.
think that was on. I don't know if that was on the original.
There's something quite
No, you don't
charming.
see any arms on the original, so they added arms, and then yeah, there's something quite charming.
It's just characters where you can't see their eyes or any real facial features, but you can still see their expressions. Is
Are they our first
nice.
no eye cast?
No, there's been
Really?
one kind of before, but it was only a half. We were kind of Kettle Jeffries.
Kettle Jeffries, yeah, I
I
guess.
think everybody else has been fully eyed.
It's not really human anymore, is he?
No.
Clip two, season one, episode 32. Of course, only one season of this. And so this is actually, I guess, the second to last episode, so they're well into it. It is a snowstorm there in the mountains. The Slags are shielding their faces and they're zipping up the mountain. The creepy castle car starts shooting a dragon at them, and dragon flames up the bums of the Slags. They bump the dragon, they turn around, they bump the dragon on the bonts with their clubs. And the spooky guy brings out his own club, and the slugs zip away with their bottoms like red hot.
Again, comedy gold. Of year seven.
Comedy gold
I,
for
I
me.
like that they do have a rival within the full race rivalry, which I never really knew about. Pandora Pit Stop. It's a terrible character name.
Who is that?
It was on that last page as
Oh,
a
yeah.
side character.
We're not going into that.
There you go. An evil twin sister.
Is it?
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, no, it's just race shenanigans, which is what we're here for. This is what we came to see. It wouldn't be a wacky race if there wasn't a dragon and clubs, it would just be Formula One. So I do
Yeah.
like that they at least stick to the wackiness.
We could have quite easily done the gruesome twosome, but I think your choice of the Slag Brothers was better. It's more in line with the kind of nonsense we do.
Yes, and my own personal favorite character is actually Red Max.
Really?
But that specifically comes from the fact that same PlayStation 1 game, he
Yeah.
was the only character that you had to unlock, so there was sort of a mystery to him.
I mean, he's just a
Total slag.
isn't he? Basically,
Yes, but he can fly.
he's one of the good ones.
Exactly. I think he's just
Slag.
All right. Well, I let
drops.
him up.
He does drop
Total slag.
from his plane actually.
Does seem to be flying a vintage
Total slag.
warplane.
Exactly. And that's why we're doing the Slag cast.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all sufficiently wacky. The two least wacky are the main two characters, Penelope and I want to say Peter.
Yeah, they got this Penelope spin-off. And in fact, the best thing about the Penelope Pit Stop spin-off was the bad guy who spoke the Hooded Claw. Brilliant.
I still do not remember.
Yeah, the Hooded Claw was by far the best thing about the Perils of Penelope's Pit Stop. And what they did in that show is that they would really push that element of her like being in real danger. So for example, there's a picture there where she's tied up and there'll be like a chainsaw coming towards her, and it'll do that thing where it'll cut away and the chainsaw will be once again like 2 meters away from her and she'll escape. And as a child I found that infuriating.
Yes. I'm not a fan of an ad break change is lazy. To make it look like it's gonna go a certain way, then just re-edit the same footage.
I don't think you can take the kind of, what they do, they're like the 10-second like back in time, and then it's like
Yes. Yeah,
so
it's not.
too late.
Doctor Who had a tendency to kind of end like the cliffhanger when they did the two-parters. 9 times out of 10 would be resolved before the
Hmm.
opening credits had happened of the next episode. It was never anything that required any real effort.
No, that's the trope, isn't it? Again, it's like you can only use it a few times before you're like, hold on, this cliffhanger at the end of this season or the end of this episode, are you going to fix it in the first 2 minutes of the next season or next episode? Just watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and interestingly, they didn't. What they've tended to do is the last couple, 2 or 3 episodes of one season and the first 3 episodes of the next season met like a 5 episode like little mini arc, which I thought was pretty cool.
That's pretty good. I also like the concept of not doing anything for 25 years and then coming back and not answering any questions is better than is better than retconning your own content from
I
5 minutes
won't
ago.
tell you in 25 years. Anyway, so they had an interaction with the dragon, and yeah, they got bonked on the head themselves. And that takes us to clip 3. We don't know when it's from, but the Arkansas Chuckabuzz move over Slags. I'm coming through, says a lumberjack, which is almost certainly why you
Yes.
picked it. Anyway, so the lumberjack who isn't the Arkansas
No,
Chuckabugs, it's what's he called?
it's like Sawmill or something.
He's called Lazy Luke. Oh no, he's called Rufus Roughcut. Lazy Luke is the the barefoot hillbilly who's you have to imagine is somewhat of a negative stereotype of country folk, but it's not my
Quite a few
business.
quite a few sentient animals as well, with Motley being the worst of the list, despite being the most prolific. But you got the beaver and the bear as well.
Yeah, there's loads of them actually, and so they don't. But yeah, they are not like Yogi Bear, Scooby Doo style animals. Yogi
No,
being the most humanoid, and Top Cat and all those guys. They're animals, Simpson style.
they have a level of sentience though, like they know. Not that animals don't, but they sort of they have more function than like Muttley does more damage than a regular dog would do, and it's clearly done from personal spite.
Oh, they're pretty much humanoid. They just can't. They're not at the Yogi Bear level, but
Yeah.
they're up there. They're up there. They're not Santa's little helper.
I like the elastic reality that Wacky Races lives in as well. Like the car is split in half, and it requires nothing more than holding hands and pulling the car back together, or the entire car explodes and they just have to find a new rock to get it going again.
It's
Which,
very silly logic, isn't it? So the entire thing is based on the movie The Great Race, which is the Jack Lemmon movie, which looked so awful when I was jumping through the clips of it that I was like, I'm not going to get anything Wacky Races with anything more than it's quite obvious that the Penelope Pitstop character and the whole concept is based on that.
yes,
And I just showed you Death Race 2000, which he was not based on this, but is another fun
yeah, it does look fun.
race movie with Sylvester Stallone in it.
Nice. It's something that I'm surprised has not returned more prominently, considering how simple the format of it is and how kind of easily watchable it is. If you just frame something entirely in a race where there's a competitive element, you're gonna get people watching that and watching it to see who wins. Like if you flicked it on as a child and you like these characters, I think you just end up watching the whole thing because you'd want to see who won that specific race. So it seems very easy to come back and, same set of characters, just update certain things, etc. Don't get rid of like half of them.
I don't know if the children of 2025 would be that interested in watching a 12-minute race between the same 10 characters over and over again.
I disagree, based purely on those videos that you get now that are 2 videos. Those guitars that are like double guitars. Like the video that you're actually supposed to be watching is like the top half of the screen, and the bottom half of the screen is like Temple Run.
You're right, but those videos are about a minute long.
Yeah, that's fine. TikTok, Wacky Races.
Minute long Wacky Races. Brilliant. Let's do it.
Yeah, well, that AI Fruit Love Island is like the most popular program in the world right now, isn't it?
And so it should be. I've never even heard of it, but I imagine so.
It's very, very well received around the world, I think.
Move over, Slag. I'm coming through, says the lumberjack. He has got chainsaws on his MFing car as he cuts the Slag car in half. No worry, lads, as they simply join hands, as you said, and pull the car back together.
Yeah, they're the easiest characters to destroy the car of as well. Not that it doesn't happen frequently anyway, but
it's made of rock. How can it be the easiest?
Yeah. It's the easiest to say, oh look, they're back in another car in terms of
yeah,
like when Peter's car gets. I saw one where his car got split into 3 by somebody, and that's it. He can't do anything about that.
Can't do anything. He's
But
gonna have to, you just have to run over the finish line in that in the Trailer Park Boys meta commentary spin-off movie Swearnet,
exactly, just like that.
which I just watched last week. That is awful.
Swearnet.
Yeah. Did you know that in 2017, once the original run of the Trailer Park Boys had finished, they made a couple of films as Trailer Park Boys. Then they made a film where they were themselves comedically trying to set up a new cable channel called Swearnet, which was all swearing. And Tom Green and Carrot Top were their competitors in a car race.
Yeah, no, I've not seen this, but it sounds in line.
If you've watched all the Trailer Park Boys, it really is, I think, brilliant and also the absolute nadir.
Excellent. I will be coming round to that very soon. I
It's
imagine
inevitable.
our next
It's inevitable.
SSS is probably going to be a TPB.
Yeah, you're going to pick like Trevor and Corey, almost certainly, or
I will let
possibly.
you choose. You chose Bo Abbey. That's what led me to the still game fan that I am now.
Yes, I'll have a think. I mean, Bubbles is the obvious one, but he's too obvious. It's like choosing, I don't know, Groundskeeper Willie for your first Simpsons, or Mark Flanders, or Bart Simpson. Anyway,
Yes.
I do love the fact that he cuts it in half, but we've talked about that. Slagmobile. So they just remake it. Anyway, clip 4. They are in the countryside. They start whacking each other on the heads and the cloud lines and everything. And the race commentator says it's Super Clobber Club power, and they destroy their car by smacking each other around. We don't see any damage to their own bodies or their clubs. They're just riding on the axles of their car. Extensive body and fender repair necessary, says the voiceover. The Slags are their own worst enemies, I say. But they simply grab another rock and beat it into a new car with some hammers. The hammers are then thrown away, and they open a front hatch and ask if everything's okay. Slag 3 in there, I ask, as an arm reaches out.
Oh, yes. Yeah, once again, it's just they are their own downfall. They have the easiest car to rebuild mid-race. They're probably not the fastest, actually, but they can, some people have got like rockets and shit. But if they just simply focused and didn't succumb to these Neanderthal tendencies to just batter each other, they would, not a lot of the downfall for them in the races doesn't seem to be the other racers. Like, Dastardly isn't going after them specifically. He's always after, the main ones.
Yeah, he's not bothered about them, but he will, if
He
you
doesn't
are,
know that
he will, he's basically for anyone that stops him from winning, right? Again, as a child, probably still to this day, incredibly irritating that Dastardly simply had to get over the line to win the race and almost always decided to set up some final trap.
shit around, yeah. I hate him.
Yes. Well,
Truly hate him.
How many times have I rewound the end of Kez to just check if Billy actually puts the bet on? And at some point, I believe that sooner or later I'm going to watch an episode where Dastardly, I mean, I know he does in a couple, but where Dastardly consistently decides that it's not worth the effort and just wins the race.
Yeah, which my PlayStation experience of this, as opposed to it being a TV show, he was way more competent because they didn't need a narrative. You are literally racing to win. So he was actually a substantial. They made him the best car basically across the board, all of the Wacky Races games. So he was always very competent, and he just sort of just yelling shit at you out of his car and doing little whatever his little in-game moves are. But he's by no means stopping halfway through a race and painting shit on a mountain wall for absolutely no reason. Or the one that annoyed me in that specific. Have we looked at the ice clip yet? I don't even know if we ended up using it. But
that's the last clip.
We did,
the ice one,
the dragon, the
dragon
burns.
Yeah.
I watched that whole segment a couple of days ago, and within that he annoyed me because he gets out of his car, sets up a free ice cream stall, and it stops the gangsters, the anthill mob, and he freezes them and then continues to race. So he just did it to stop who was in first, and the amount of time that it took him. He was already in first, and then he stopped to make sure that nobody would catch up, and in doing so, sealed his own fate. The Slags
I hope somebody got fired for that, is all I can say.
Exactly. The Slags, at least consistently each race, know what their goal is. It is to win or hit something. That's it. That's the very simple. They have a very kind of like feathers. They have a goal and they are setting out to achieve it, like Philip Jeffries.
We do like characters on this that are a little bit pathetic. Now, you know how we've got like what's it called on the cast, the list of things, the list of attributes. I think before next time we need to put one of those together because
Yes.
you know, what are the attributes that link them all? They're all a little bit pathetic. They're all kind of a little bit of the underdog. Not all, but many. And
Most.
they all sort of they're focused on one thing, but it's not always clear what that one thing is.
Yeah, I'd say these two the most. It is clear on what they want and what their overall goals are.
I would
Uh,
say
they-
both Feathers and Philip, all of our
yes,
animals are very focused. The
that's
humans,
true, yeah. It's the humans that mess it up. But yeah, Loretta didn't know what she wanted. Harmony,
blood.
not at all. Harmony didn't even want blood. She was bad at being a vampire. Cindy, Christ knows. But yeah, the Slags simply want to win this. They live in a world where they only race, and they know that they must win the race, or they would like to win the race. But there are no consequences for not winning.
Well, we don't know, do we? And
That's-
so I think that's where all of the Wacky Races updates, and especially those comics, sort of have failed. That they've needed to add a narrative on top of what was already a perfect. It's already a perfect show. It's just those 12 guys racing, and
One girl.
I think what I mean guys in its original sense of humans.
Guys and dolls.
The way we would do it is obviously it would start by racing and we would add little bits every time so that by the time you did get to episode 50, it would be incredibly convoluted. And
Yeah, by the time you got to episode 50, there wouldn't be a race.
no, God, no, there'd be no race whatsoever, but it would be very fun. The Slag Brothers would
Oh,
be
yeah.
running some sort of cafe.
I would also like to see a fully produced Formula One race using these characters, but it is just a regular race.
All right. You mean like the video games that you just described?
Yes, but even less so than that, like just without any sort of powers or boosts or
All right.
you
Just a bunch of
swap them
cars.
out. Yeah, just swap them out for real Formula One drivers and let them have a go at a real race where real
Prob-
damage can
The
happen.
problem with that is
They'd all die.
well, we're that's inevitable, but the problem is that you'd have to then work out how fast and strong their cars are based on all kinds of things. And to be honest, the Slag Brothers would be one of the hardest to work out how fast it goes and what kind of power it has because they didn't. It's just a set of axles that's run by their feet, and it's essentially just a very big heavy rock on some axles. You have to imagine that a normal human wouldn't make that car go very fast, not compared to Penelope Pitstops, which is just a normal car.
True. In my version, though, they have just been put in like they would just be in like a Red Bull.
All right, so it's basically just a normal race.
Yeah, the only thing that's changed is the drivers.
Right.
I would call it serious races or just races. But
Just races. Just race.
yeah, there's a lot of potential within the show itself to not do a race as well, which is had they gone longer than 32 episodes or whatever. 32,
Well, I mean, that's
34,
exactly what they
take one.
did. They spun off the characters that had the main. I mean, the Dastardly and Muttley one was just continued being a sort of race style, though, isn't it? Especially because they were just
Yeah,
trying to catch a pigeon, I believe.
Well, I didn't know if that did that predate Wacky Races and then they reused Dick Dastardly for Wacky Races, or was it
No,
vice
no, no.
versa?
Dastardly. I'm pretty sure Dastardly was the spin-off. Yeah, Dastardly and Muttley and the Flying Machines. He is partially
But there's
based on the
also
English actor Terry Thomas. You know Terry Thomas, right?
TT. No, but they
Don't know Terry Thomas?
no, should I?
Yes, very much so. I'm absolutely shocked if you don't know this
When did he
guy.
die?
Long time ago.
Yes, before 1990,
It's like a comedy staple.
from the silent movie era.
He basically plays like a smutty kind of upper class character in many things, but yes, they don't make him like this anymore. Anyway, that's who Dick Dastardly is apparently based on.
That was not, however, the spin-off you just mentioned is not Catch That Pigeon.
This one, yeah, Dustin
Yeah.
Muttley and the Flying Machines is the one where they're trying to catch a pigeon, yeah.
Oh, I thought the show was called Catch the Pigeon.
No, I believe the song it sings "Catch That Pigeon." Yeah, stop
Oh,
that
yeah.
pigeon. Yes.
I see. In that case, yes, that's fine then. Yeah, a lot of potential for the Slags to have developed something. I think they could have gone the easiest route they could have gone down is to have one of them be enamored with Penelope, so he acts super like soppy and like lovey-dovey as opposed to like overly aggressive and battery.
Well,
That
yeah,
would have been
absolutely. Yeah, he could have starred at least as a cameo in a couple of Penelope pit stops as the kind of like the boyfriend. That'd have been funny, right?
yes, or just within the episodes, like letting her go past, helping her, etc.
Oh yeah,
It would
character
have just been,
traits.
yeah, but no, the trait was to win or to batter.
Batter. The trait was really to batter. They would smack their car along with the club to make it go faster as well.
Exactly, which you don't know what's in the club, so that could be we're saying the prehistoric, they could be from so far in the future that things just sort of circle around. So that looks like a boulder car, but it's actually the most
T1000 liquid.
sophisticated piece of technology that is on the track.
Absolutely, could be a liquid cop.
Exactly, I beg your pardon.
Hit
I
five.
just added, please, yes, give us some context.
Hit five. We are playing Wacky Races, D&M PS2 2001. I'm not sure what that. So that's the Motley PS2 2001. The Slag Brothers are whacking their car vector style. It's the Stone Age brothers sledding down a hill, and we basically watched them for 2 minutes sledding down a hill.
Yes, I
But
included the full race because I thought, that's something that we haven't seen in the actual clips. But this is significantly less wacky because you are in charge of the characters and you are trying to win and win alone, which they are within the show, but narrative-wise, that isn't where it goes.
no.
So there's way more of a formula to this. And yes, I remember liking this game very, very much. The first one and then the second one that I sent you, or clip 6, whatever it is.
Mm.
I only bought that like last year. It's been a lot of fun to play.
All right. I don't think you sent me a second game because the only club I've got
Oh
left
no,
now
I
is the
didn't. Yeah,
Scoob movie.
I
You can
agree. I realized there was no need to show you 2 full races, so I got rid of one. But
disagree.
yeah, it's fun to see the kind of, all the characters get their own specific power-ups and boosts. So there's a lot more like, they've got a pterodactyl that you can send out of the Boulder-mobile. It can turn into, like when you drift around a corner, the wheels go and it just turns into a circular rock. It's a lot of fun.
Oh yeah. Well, we do know that the pterodactyl does appear at least once,
Oh yeah.
but I'm not sure if they can call on it or whether it's, a reliable. Because that'd be funny if it was an unreliable helper.
Yes.
I'm sure it was
Charizard.
like a Charizard. Yeah.
But yeah, I included that simply to just have a look at the mechanics of the actual a race outside of a story about a race
You
to
would.
see how they get on. And generally, they're all sort of balanced out the cars anyway, but they all have specific stats, a la Mario Kart, etc., where, like weight, drift, acceleration. I do not have the information.
Well, here's my question. To be honest, if they were really going to make a Wacky Races game that wasn't just a Mario Kart style speed run, they would have to find some way to incorporate the narrative that you had to do those things, whichever character you said. So you if you were the Slag Brothers, when you hit a bump and your car needed to go up a hill, you had to jump out and hit it with a club. Or if you were Dick Dastardly, you had to stop at 75% of the way through the race and do some. I mean, there's probably an RPG. There's probably a Wacky Races RPG that does some stuff like that.
No, I think I've sampled all of the games now.
All right.
And the one that was within the clips is significantly better than any of the other ones. One of them's really poor. One of them is literally just races. Like you don't get any powers. There's no like speed boost. There's nothing. You are that character and you drive.
Ooh.
Yeah, I just like them. I just like them. I like the design. I like the communication
Just
between
liking
each
things
other.
is absolutely okay. I just
And
like
yeah,
them too.
good. I think they were worth just a little look into.
Oh yeah, we haven't finished yet, dude. Although maybe we have because the clip you showed looks like a village of Slag Brothers, basically, right? An entire village of Slags, both men and women, old and young. But then it is revealed in the Scoob movie from not too long ago. Was it 2021 or something like that?
2020, I believe. It looks like a a Hanna-Barbera fest as opposed to a Scooby-Doo movie.
Yes, and so they kind of cross over to all those intellectual properties so they can get some screen time. And it turns out, of course, that it isn't really the Slag Brothers. We don't get to hear anything. It's just Captain Caveman, which is nice. And
Yeah.
I was a big fan of Captain Caveman back in the day.
Yeah, I do. I prefer the not talking. I think it works better. I'm guessing that's them on the left because it says that they make a cameo in this movie in this crowd. So it specified that two of them are the Slag Brothers, but I just don't know which two. So I would,
Yeah.
if I had to guess, the front two look very much, well, they all kind of look the same, but there's no additional stuff to say. Like they kind of got beards and stuff, and like, so I'd say it's those front two. Yeah, they're just sort of watching, I believe, Scooby-Doo, Dick Dastardly, and maybe Captain Falcon.
What's his name? Blue Falcon, I think his name was.
Possibly. Yeah, that guy.
Dynamite, yeah, Blue Falcon, but I think Dynamite the Dog Wonder, which is basically, I don't know if it's actually Scooby-Doo, but I think it was he wasn't Scooby-Doo, it was a completely different dog, but it was
With broadcast within the same show.
Well, yeah, the Scooby All-Star Laugh Olympics was absolutely one of my favorites up there with because it had all the characters in going head to head.
Yes, it's very much Avengers Endgame of the 70s or whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's nice. This is the last time they have been seen in media to this day, I believe. So this is our lasting impression of them. I just wish they had a little bit more to do and that it was more blatant that it's them. However, I did not watch this movie and I scrolled through that scene once. So I might have just missed them. That might not be them at all, but to my knowledge, I would say that's them.
You would have to, if they were going to make it a little more obvious, you'd have to make it. The noses are the same for everyone. They're basically all the same. The difference being that they'd have a bit more of this wispy. They have the kind of like whisker style mustache, but again, that would have been updated. I think it's close enough to say that basically any of these people could have been.
Yeah, there was one very easy way to do it that they just chose not to, which was to show them in a car.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They didn't want to go down to that level. So there is an episode of Harvey Birdman which is the kind of updated parody of it, where he's a lawyer and he represents certain characters in court. And there is an episode where this is the episode 7 from probably like 10 years ago or something, where he has to defend Captain Caveman in a episode called Evolutionary War. The school refuses to teach him about evolution.
Wonderful. Voiced by Chris Edgerly, who also now voices Rod Flanders.
Interesting. Very good. So, but I think it seems like even in that episode, they did not want to go down into the depths and pull out the Slags. That's it. That's the end of the clips. What's that, Chauncey?
They are mold in a Mordy way, in that you don't know anything about them, so it's up to you.
Oh, very much. If this was a 50-episode Slag Brothers cast, absolutely they would be. And now with the advent of AI and all that shit,
That's a four-legged spider slag.
Fast-paced, wacky circus-style music with the spacey synthesizer overlay. Welcome to the Trouble Belt Bonanza. I am David Seven. I am your referee for the day. In lane 1, the Shaggy Duo. In lane 2, Peep, the ethereal speedster. Physical absurdity is currently enabled.
Go, Peep. Channel your inner bug/fighting bruiser. Use your massive horn, I beg your pardon, like a rage-powered forklift.
The Slagtopers stop to hit the floor with their clubs bang bang, and they speed up again, grunting wacky wacky. Use this code CLOUD10 for 10% off your racing fuel, which is just 100% rainwater and regret. The whole damn trial is unnecessary, unreported overhead.
Peep's gaining. He's using a meta-narrative disruption grenade. It's a tactical, sugar-crazed maneuver.
Thud.
He's terrible, isn't he?
DVD being unwrapped. He just dropped a holographic DVD of Lost behind him. The Shaggy Dudes have stopped to look at the cover art. They're trying to decode the smoke monster. It's a mirror image of their own existential confusion. Insufficient choice. The creatures are now pondering the identity of Jacob. Race velocity has dropped to 0 as they contemplate the theological fault line of the series finale. That was entirely put there by a chatbot. I did not ask it for the Lost DVD.
Did you ask it to make Pete Pericross?
No, I used Notebook LM, and I uploaded all of the uploaded all of the casts, and I just said the Sosas, and I just said make me some sketches based on Wacky Races, Slag Brothers, Trouble with Tribbles from Star Trek. But he keeps getting them mixed up with the Salt Circle people. So
House Elf, son of Anton Ouijabag. He enjoys resembling Dobby from the Harry Potter series.
he certainly does.
A Dobby hobby.
Anyway, time for some
Great
hard
race. Indeed.
drag race. You got some drag
Great race.
You got some?
No, I just said great race.
All right.
I do actually.
Here's the first one. Is just a straight up more kind of man Slag Brothers Bouldermobile. It's very faithful to the original, but it's kind of a cool 3D model.
Here's an insight into me. I'm a huge fan of seeing 2D things in 3D, which is why I think the Simpsons figures, outside of me loving the Simpsons, are so cool. There's just something really interesting about seeing the whole dimension. So yes, I like this, and it's
Of course,
super
ironically,
easy.
it's still in 2D. Yet you love it more than a regular 2D image.
That is absolutely true, but it's 2D displaying 3D, so it doesn't count. And yeah, I just like it. I like the details that you get, like the hair.
It's like you have to, when you translate it to another media or when you add something to it, you have to start adding these things. And even if you only add the most minimal stuff possible, you still have to think about those things, like the little hatch for the hand to come out.
Yeah, it just enhances things. And yeah, I just like the way it looks. It's like they're in our world now.
Very good. Now, you will not like this next one, which is an AI generated all new classics where they went through, that it's got to the point now, which is pretty good, where they'll do the old and young, or the characters will meet each other and they've got like 10 seconds of cogent kind of like clippage.
Yeah, I saw one of Eminem the other day. It was awful. He was sat on a bench with his younger self, but they made his older self look like 75 and fat.
They're slightly off at this point, but they're still doing it. It's like, I think I saw one the other day where I think the Harry Potter, now and then, right? So the modern faces of Radcliffe and Co were like hugging, or the Rolling Stones now hugging the Sex Pistols, hugging the younger Sex Pistols.
I'll have to cut this out, but I'm going to show you this.
I didn't become a little bit of a slag.
Don't show me that. If you forget to cut this out, it'll be awful.
I will absolutely not forget to cut this out.
All right, go on then.
I became a total slag.
Where is this?
I just sent it to you now.
Oh, God.
But yeah, I don't like the faces in this. I don't like being able... If they did something akin to this in like a CGI, whatever, Wacky Races, I would not want them to look like this.
No, that's sort of what they've done though, and it's like how Marvel these days start to have got the fact that the comic book people want the comic book characters to wear the comic book costumes when they make although they totally just didn't do that with Wonder Man, but when they make when bring Daredevil to the movies, we want to see him looking like Daredevil. We don't want to see like they did in the 70s and 80s where they did a crappy version, or even 2010s where they did a crappy version.
The 2000s, all of the superhero costumes of the 2000s up until Iron Man, I think, like all of the X-Men specifically.
They're specifically talking about the leather X-Men stuff, yeah, which is why Hugh Jackman was so happy to get like proper, even though it looks ridiculous, proper Wolverine stuff in the Deadpool movie. It
only looks ridiculous if he's walking down a normal street, though. If you put him into a superhero movie, it looks absolutely acceptable.
Is that acceptable? Here we go, Dave Perillo, a nice, funny, fun Slag Brothers, Big Smiles.
Yeah, I like this because you don't see them smiling very often, and I imagine they do what they do because they enjoy it.
Looking a lot like Bone, the character, Bone, or one of those.
Yes, exactly like that.
Here's a good one. This is actually an animated GIFs. So
I do like this.
You like this one? It's
Lennon and Star.
Yeah, big old pointy noses, and I think that's a good improvement, right? They've managed to Maretta Bionica deactivated 2181 managed to successfully update.
They do somehow look older. which is good. They look more like clearly still cartoons, but a little bit less cartoonish somehow with the nose
They got the droopy mustaches
and
and the
everything.
kind of Popeye style arms. All in all, brilliant. Probably my favorite one of the designs, the car, less so. But the
Yeah, I
car,
do like the fact that they've got really, really big forearms, but not. They don't have muscles in their arms where you'd assume they would.
no, they're strong to the finish. This is one of the up. Does anyone else remember when DC did a Darker Edge, Mad Max inspired Wacky Races comic? Yes, they do. But this is not. This is not what that is. Someone else has done another redesign.
No.
No, because they've lost the prehistoric nature, right? They've now gone cyberpunk.
Yeah, it's too far gone, Todd. I didn't even notice the second one in the car there then until you zoomed
No,
in. Yeah, it's not even them themselves are not prehistoric anymore, not let alone the car.
no,
Like they
you've lost and that's the thing. Like I said with all of them, they kind of lost what was
like the
brilliant
grudge,
about it.
just like two grudges in a car.
Indeed, right?
Maybe
It's a
she
good.
was indirectly. There's an indirect family there, including cousin It and Samira from The Grudge.
Yes, exactly.
Other characters that are just her, just sentient her.
All the ring, and
Exactly, all the
basically
ring.
all Japanese ghosts.
Yes, but mostly these two. Maybe that's what they are. We've never
Maybe.
established that they are. We just trust the very, very vaguely David Lynch sounding race narrator for all of our information.
So
I would
I
like
got,
to have it. There's a lot of
uh,
art. I just want to look at that one. Is that
yeah.
costumes?
Those are costumes. Yeah, this is says Michael
This
Murphy. I
wins.
don't know if it says this is it's a yeah full size, life size. Basically what you asked for earlier, isn't it? In many ways.
Yes, this is what I would like them to look like. I would get someone like Sam Raimi to do it, or
Well,
someone
this is
someone
Muppets,
who would
isn't it?
make someone who would make two actual. They wouldn't just think, oh, we'll CGI those guys in later. I want two fully
Fantastic.
functioning flags,
Well, I think
please.
so, and that's what I guess what James Gunn has done a little bit more with the kind of his version of the DC universe so far. He's taken the fact, like the idea of bringing Crypto the dog as a dog in his ridiculous suit, and then just bringing him in, which is again what Grant Morrison sort of did. It's like, no, we're going to keep it. Although Grant Morrison would recontextualize it so that it had made more sense, where James Gunn's just said, no, Superman has a dog and it has superpowers.
Yes, which is a great move financially and cinematically.
It was, but he had to set up by it being him, and we knew him from Guardians of the Galaxy and all that stuff. Otherwise,
Yeah, he
I
wouldn't have.
don't. They wouldn't have taken the risk on that stuff. No way. Nobody
No,
thought that you could bring Crypto and hopefully
no. Well, it wouldn't have
Batman.
worked in the last set of Superman movies anyway. It would have been
But they were garbage, weren't they?
astonishing.
For that same
Yes.
reason.
Joyless, which is why I think now a Wacky Races thing might work because somebody might do it with a bit of joy. Because I think we've got past the let's make this gritty. Let's do a
Edgar
gritty
Wright.
reboot of this. Yes, that would be fantastic.
Edgar Wright, because he almost did Ant-Man apparently, so he was, well on the
Ant-Man.
way to he was well on the way to doing the first version of Ant-Man, but he didn't follow it through.
Yeah,
But
it's because they wanted him to. He wasn't allowed to make it standalone, was he? Was the
no,
overall issue. So
something like that, yeah.
But yeah, a great, great, lovely costume. I would wear. I would wear that costume.
Beautiful. Let's
Also,
get through. Go ahead.
very easy costume to make with just a lot of mops for a cheap
Basically,
Halloween costume.
Susan Mop. They basically are Susan Mop Jr.
Exactly, baby Slagfoot.
Vector. Not much to say here. Sort of very simple vector design. This is a cool one. This one also, I believe, is a GIFs.
I like that one.
Again, of them bonking themselves on the head.
Yeah,
Yes,
which you
a
never
bit
know,
more.
that might unlock some kind of like Psyduck in Pokemon. Like the more the head hurts, the more powerful they become.
Possibly. This guy did one for like every character. Yeah, the Arkansas Chocobuzz, and exactly. But brilliant.
It's beautiful. They lend themselves to a big spread of design styles, and you always know who you're getting, except for literally in that official comic.
Yes. So they well, a bunch of people, if you do it right, there's a lot of scope. Again, they've played around with the nose here. This is just, I think,
This is
this
the
is
closest. It's like a fake AI Jim Carrey thing. Oh no,
yeah,
it's not the Jim Carrey. There is a Jim Carrey one as well.
but this one, I mean, there's a bit of rendering. It clearly isn't quite up to it, but this is only 3 months old, and
So there's a demand for them to return by at
there's a
least two people, four now, including us.
You could quite easily do a Wacky Races movie in the same sense as they've done with the Mario movie and all that stuff, with adding just the basic semblance of a plot. You don't have to add much, just a
No.
little tiny bit. And
I'll put it out there now, given all the bushiness of the modcast, etc., that probably within the next year this will be announced.
an animated Wacky Movie Race has been in development since 2018. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we don't really need that. Stop motion was developed around 2023, but was cancelled. The viral Wacky
Okay, good.
Races featuring Jim Carrey are not official. Blah blah blah. So yeah, there's the live action.
It's just a generic, like, it's the actors you'd assume would be in this AI. Think that, like, oh, it's Margot Robbie, look, etc.
Does it have other Slag Brothers in it? Are they featured?
Cannot remember. Maybe just watch. Let's watch it. Only a minute. Who's got your favourite as well?
Chalamet?
Johnny Hoodclock or whatever he's called. It's just the actors that currently are in films is the issue. There's no
Bale?
real thought to
John?
it whatsoever. Don't know who that's supposed to be.
Spider-Man? Thor?
So Ben Kingsley. I believe that's Paul Rudd.
There you go.
There you go. Right.
Was it
Cena.
Paul Rudd, did you say?
It looked like Paul Rudd was Red Max.
Yeah, that would make sense, wouldn't it?
Famously German Paul Rudd. I don't know who Tom Holland is supposed to be. I think he's just himself.
Yeah, can't tell.
There's a bit, did it like a closer bit now-ish. There you go. They look pretty interesting. The car's not very good. But
No.
this is how it would have to happen for me. That I would not accept them being humanized or being portrayed by an actor.
This is proper like they're like Leprechaun. The Leprechaun in the Hood, like from the Leprechaun movies, right?
Yeah, the noses are a bit probably would get some kind of redesign before being broadcast to a audience of children.
Bit scary.
But-
Don't know, but I think they're the clubs are not that amazing. The car's not that amazing, but their design is pretty cool.
Yeah, I'd be fine of them to look like that. I would prefer it if they were real people in puppets though, on big suits.
Yeah, that'd be fun, wouldn't it? So, that's it more or less. There's a 3D model that's pretty cool, but we've seen all that before. So,
Oh yes.
there we go. A zip sound as Peep crosses the line, followed by a toilet paper roll and furling.
Victory! Peep is the king of sea and sand and stars on stage and screen. He has won the race and secured the dazzling honey for all of eternity.
Pop. Shaggy cavemen vanish into a cloud of purple smoke. Great, they're gone, but they're left behind a pile of sticky residue, I beg your pardon.
Slag.
Broken stone clubs in the ventilation ducts, I beg your pardon. My spreadsheets are crying at the cleanup costs. I shall initiate a fungus and kindness audit immediately. I detect several strains of poor aesthetic choice remaining in the gallery. Batshit Dave 7. Efficient. Indeed. Mysterious voice. The champions of the race are the future androids have won so many races they have forgotten their human identities, their penchant for store-bought pizza.
Who keeps broadcasting that? Is it a ghost mod? Is it a signal from the even weird Republic?
Whoever it is, they're not on the payroll, so let's get back to the Silicon Valley Marathon. This level of prehistoric drama is unstreamable and frankly, it's giving me a headache. Beep. Wah, 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 wah.
The end.
Slag.
Total slag.
It is the end, yeah. So we did it.
Nice.
We've brought it in as a one for only just. That has been about an hour and a half. So
Oh yeah, we're right on time, but there were a lot of tangents that could have been cut off earlier, but we
Could have,
had the
would have.
time.
could have, would have, and should have.
Precise.
And now, here they are, The most distinguished collection of dangerous drivers ever to risk life, limb and public funding in Stars of Stage and Screen's most serious race. Competing for the title of the world's most extremely professional racer, the vehicles are approaching the starting line. First, there's the mighty boulder holder, driven by those prehistoric pavement pounders, the Slag brothers, Rock and Gravel. Next comes the suspiciously rattling Bratton Clatterton, with Creed Bratton at the wheel, allegedly in possession of a valid license. Emerging from a cloud of steam and accordion music is the sinister Bluebird of Strange, driven by the unnervingly silent Feathers McGraw, alongside the deeply confusing Black Phillip, who would quite like to live deliciously. Glittering in the sunlight is the fabulous pink Hex Appeal, with vampire socialite Harmony Kendall applying mascara at 80 miles an hour. Attempting to parallel park while crying is the DHCP U-later, driven by nervous tech executive Jared Dunn. And there's the smoke-belching Boab Mobile Inn, driven by pub philosopher Boabby the Barman Taylor, who appears to be steering with a meat pie. Bouncing wildly over the curb comes the battered Chandler Scrambler, with Cindy Chandler still trying to figure out where she is. Sneaking in between the others is the tiny terror known as the Wee Menace, driven by class menace Jonah, who has already slashed 3 tires in the pit lane. Materializing out of nowhere in a cloud of steam is the mysterious Blue Rose Bruiser, with FBI Phantom Philip Jeffries yelling at a kettle. Roaring up with absolutely no dignity whatsoever is the lurid Clam Slammer, driven by the unstoppable Loretta Brown. And finally, charging in at full speed is the turbo-powered Hornet Hustler, with Heracross revving its engines and headbutting a marshal into a canal.